And I'm very delighted to be with you today because we've got a very interesting topic that we're going to be covering, something that's really key for anyone who is energy sensitive, anyone who tends to have that sense or that feeling of like something's up with the energy. That's what I hear from people all the time. So we're going to be diving right into that today. We're going to talk about collective energy, what it is, what you can do to protect yourself against it, and we're going to have some energy scan readings for any lucky viewers who might be watching live. You need to be live if you want to be in with the chance of a reading, and hope to see you guys here, which is a slightly different platform than usual. We're using YouTube today, and we'll see how that goes. Now, I want to preface this because if you've been following what's been happening, the ongoing Transmute the Blocks saga continues, okay? So I've mentioned this before, and you can watch more about it in our previous videos, some of the things that have been happening recently, but as I mentioned before, sometimes when you try to put something really positive out there, especially if you're a light worker, sometimes when you're trying to put something positive out there, you're trying to be in a good energy, you're trying to be in a good vibe, sometimes what you find is inexplicably blocks that seem to be some sort of equal polarization of negativity rise up to meet it. They just seem to get in the way, weird things seem to happen. And if that's happening to you, I want to say, please don't give up. Just keep going, stay aligned with the light. But our website was down. Okay, so if you're watching, I can see some people have joined us live. Hello, hello, and welcome. Tell me who you are and where you're from. Our website went down, and we had all these different problems. We had tech glitches, we had email mishaps, we had just a lot of glitches, let's put it that way. There were a lot of weird things happening, and we knew exactly what it was. You know, this is something that comes up a lot for light workers and for twin flames. So myself and my partner Jay were keeping the laughter up, keeping the levity up, keeping the energy nice and light and bright. So if anything happens today, don't panic, just come back to center, take a breath. If the broadcast cuts out, if there's any sound disturbances, anything like that, just center yourself and we'll work in the energy together to bring it back around, because we don't let anything stop us from moving forward in a positive trajectory. It's very, very important that we keep going. Okay, so same for you guys. You've got to keep going even when the blocks come up, because they're only temporary challenges. So as a result of all the glitches and the problems that happened, you might have actually missed our meditation launch entirely. Thank you to those of you who emailed us to let us know that that was the case. So we kind of found a different way around it. We thought, let's keep the energy high and bright, let's make a little shift. So what we decided to do was to do this live video on collective energy, how it might be affecting you. And it's no coincidence when the exact thing that I'm teaching about happens in real time while I'm trying to teach about it. You just couldn't write this sort of stuff. So we're going to dive into that. But again, I say, whoever is joining us live, please say hello. Let us know who you are, where you're from. We'd love to hear from you. And it just kind of adds to that light working energy as well. We really appreciate it. So, and I'm just going to make sure I've got the video here as well for any comments, because I've noticed it's a little bit trickier on YouTube to see the comments. So this will help me just catch up with everything as we go. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's first of all start with, what is collective energy? So collective energy is the negative emotion. Okay, we talk about energy, it's emotion, the negative emotion that is the energy of the masses that is present in the atmosphere around us. Okay, it is like a web or a cloud. It's full of confusion, it's full of pain and suffering and all the negative emotions that we sometimes get unintentionally entangled in. We unconsciously get drawn into it even when we don't mean to. Okay, so we need to be very careful. If we are energy sensitive, we need to be very careful that we don't take on lower vibrational energies that are not our own. Very, very important. We know that it's happening, and we might know that it's happening even if we don't completely understand what it is. We know that something's off, and I know this because I work with clients every week, and every week at least one person says to me, what's up with the energy right now? What's going on in the energy? I feel off, something's not right. We know even if we don't know, you know, there's something that resonates on a deeper level. And let me know if that's something that you have felt or experienced before. If you just get a sense like the energy's off, even if you don't know why. Okay, but how do you know if it's impacting you? How do you know if it's affecting you and your energy? So We're going to cover that in just a little second, but let me know if you would like a scan, an energy scan during this video, to see how the collective energy is affecting you. And you can just comment below. You don't need to write a big long thing if you don't want to. You can just write yes, please, or me, please, something like that. Or you can give me more details if you like. That's always helpful. And we'll circle back around to that in just a little while once we've done a little bit more digging. So let's talk about some of the signs that you're already being affected by collective energy, that big cloud of emotional energy that surrounds the planet, that's in the atmosphere. So there's a few key signs that you might get, and just have a listen to these and see if you resonate with any of them. So one of the signs you might get would be nightmares. People suddenly start having bad dreams. They start having disturbed sleep. They start having panic or anxiety attacks. This is quite common for people who are very sensitive to energy. You might have a sense of nervousness, kind of worry, or even dread, and you won't know why. You'll be like, don't know why I'm reacting like this. I don't know why I feel this way. You probably feel that you can't focus. You might struggle to concentrate because actually what's happening is the energy is too much. There's too much information coming at you on a deeper level, and it makes it really difficult to concentrate. You'll probably feel overwhelmed. That's one of the biggest symptoms I hear from my clients, and that was how I used to feel before I got clear of it as well. You just feel like there's too much coming at you. There's just too much. And similarly, you'll also probably find that you have some sort of increased sensitivity. So all of a sudden, the light feels too bright, noises are too sensitive in your system, everything starts to feel like too much. And it's especially difficult when you are around a lot of people, when you're in a public place. You'll probably find that you have a sort of disturbed mental or emotional state. So you're starting to feel swept up in the feelings of others. You're getting pulled into whatever energy flow is going on right now. And that's really difficult. You'll feel drained or tired after spending any sort of time in a crowd or in a public place. And that's a sort of downward emotional spiral that's going to create. It's going to be very difficult, especially if you can't find a cause for it. Energy feels off, or you just know that it's not right. Now, who here has experienced any of those signs? I saw Kelly pop up there with a message. Hello to another fellow Kelly. Thank you for watching. I'll need to have a check and see if I can get your comment. They disappear really fast on YouTube. So who here has experienced any of those signs? If you have, or even if you've got a different sort of way of knowing when the energy's off, when something's not quite right, let us know. And I've got a little extra tip for you as well. When you're feeling any sort of feeling or sensation that comes over you, I want you to ask yourself first and foremost, is it mine? That's all you need to do. Is it mine? And you can put your hand on your heart, or you can just close your eyes and take a moment and tune in and see what feels right. And you'll know if it's yours or if it's actually part of the collective energy. It's not really yours, you've just happened to absorb it. Okay, now we're going to dive into some energy scans for a few lucky viewers, depending on whose energy is around, and you can let me know below if you'd like a scan to see how the collective energy might be affecting you. So we'll do that in just a little moment and we'll see, but give me a second just to see. Now, I'm not great with tech, but I just want to see if we can get access to the comment that Kelly sent, because they seem to disappear on YouTube and I'm not sure why that is. Give me just a second, guys, and I'll see if I can access this. And if anyone knows how, do let me know. Because, let's see. I don't think it's going to let me see the comment that was submitted, Kelly. I wonder if it would be possible for you to give me a little bit of your comment again, because I never managed to catch it all. And we'll try and just catch these the minute they come up, because it's not allowing me to get access to them again, which is really strange. Let's see. I'm just going to see if I'm missing anything to make sure I don't miss your comments, guys. Let's see. Have I missed anything? No, they're still coming up on the screen. Well, we'll just keep going as we are, and we'll see. I'll try and catch everyone's message as quickly as I can, because they're obviously disappearing a little bit quicker than we would like, and that's not so great. So we'll get into that. And Kelly, since you have, I definitely caught your name because it was the same as mine, since you've already submitted something, even though we missed it, I'll perform a little reading for you in just a moment, if that's okay with you. So let's just see, I'm going to nip back to my video. There we go. So Kelly says, I always experience those symptoms. I've always been an energy sponge, but it's greatly enhanced since awakening. I'm really glad that you said that, actually, Kelly, because what you tend to find is that when you're going through spiritual awakening, you become much more sensitive to this energy. You really just, it's a totally different experience. And I think what you find is when you're going through this experience, you start to pick up on the collective, you know the energy's off and you know that it's affecting you. The natural inclination is to do what I did as well, is to start looking up online, start Googling, start looking for YouTube videos, start looking for answers. And usually what happens is they give you advice that would be relevant to people who aren't going through the awakening process, because it's different when you're going through awakening. Your energies are different, they're more sensitive, they're much more volatile. You know, your entire being reads the information of the environment around you in a completely different way. So everything's a lot more heightened, and it's very easy to get stressed and overwhelmed very quickly too. So I think it's really important to note that that does tend to happen. There's nothing wrong with you. That's just a natural part of awakening. But we are going to get into some information as we go along, where we'll talk about how you can kind of protect against that, because you can. And I really have to tell you guys, I used to be so absorbed by the energy of what was going on. It was very difficult. And when my awakening was at its sort of peak, where it was really at its toughest, you know, it felt like it feels like you're at the mercy of the energy of what's going on. It feels like you don't have sovereign energy. You're not in charge of your own energy, because this force can sort of invade your energy and your space and throw you off balance at any time. And that's a difficult thing to deal with. That's not something that really should be a big battle that you're having to deal with as a light worker. You've got enough on your plate. So we want to make sure that there's some protection there for that. And we'll talk about that in just a little minute. So what we'll do, if it's, we'll take a little minute and we will do a reading for Kelly, another fellow Kelly. And I can see some other people are watching this live. And if you feel comfortable, please let me know if you would like a reading, because that's what I'm here for. We're not digging into anything, you know, really personal. It's just a reading to find out how the collective energy might be affecting you and your energy. So let's have a little tune in to Kelly. I'm going to take a sip of tea first. Okay, let's see. So what I can feel straight away, Kelly, is that there's a lot of energy going on in your crown chakra. Right. So there's a few different things going on here. What I can see straight away, Kelly, is that your crown chakra is something that I've seen before quite often in spiritual awakening. What you tend to find is it can have a sort of damage. It's partly overactive. There's an overactive aspect to your crown chakra. So what you need to think about is this chakra up here is wide open. Okay, so there's a lot more information, content, energy getting into your space than should be. There should be more of a boundary there, because it would be more balanced. Now, what I can tell you is the reason why this energy is getting, and the reason why your crown chakra is so open, is there's been some damage from the Kundalini process. So when you've gone through spiritual awakening, and this is common, okay, you can fix it, but it's quite common, is because the Kundalini comes up through the main chakras really quite violently. When you go through awakening, it blasts through, and when it blasts through, if there's any blocks, it's just going to blast right through them. And what I've seen a lot in people with spiritual awakening, and really who have had an extreme Kundalini experience, is this main chakra can be damaged as a result. And when that's damaged, you don't have your energetic boundaries in place, because one of your chakras is wide open. And that can also lead to feeling completely overwhelmed. There's a lot going on in your system. I feel like it's leading to feelings of dread and worry and anxiety, and I feel like it's manifesting physically for you. So this is really quite invasive. This is really quite a lot, and I would definitely want to be calming that down in your system, because I can feel that there's a sense of, there's a little bit of wired but tired. It's like keeping going, keeping going. Your energy's trying to keep going, but there's also another part of you that's completely exhausted. So there's quite a bit of work that needs to be done to bring you back into alignment there. I think that you're picking up a lot of the collective's worry and anxiety. There's a sort of heavy vibration there that you're picking up, and I can sense that the reason that you're picking up is because you are actually a really light vibration. You're quite a high vibration, Kelly, and the problem is that when you're a really high vibration, we tend to sort of absorb this stuff automatically in order to transmute it. We're kind of transmuting it. We're trying to help humanity, trying to help the planet, trying to clear these energies. And sometimes it can kind of be a bit of a tidal wave that overwhelms us. So I would want to, in your energy, get this sealed up and get that back into alignment in the crown chakra. That's going to put some more boundaries in place. And then I think the next thing would be really important is to cleanse all the congestion that will have built up in your system because you're carrying far too much. And that must be really tough on you. So I would want to get that energetic space cleansed and cleared out. And then I would think it would be really important to get the energetic shield in place so that any work that you do maintains that little bit of peace that you managed to kind of carve out for yourself with this. If any of this sounds like a lot, don't worry, we've actually got a meditation we'll talk about at the end that'll do all of it for you. All you need to do is relax and listen because we know that this is a problem for people and that's why we've got this. But if you have any questions about it, I know it's zipping up quite quick, but I'll catch it as quick as I can. If you have any other questions, just let me know. And I hope that that was helpful to you. And if anyone else is interested in having a reading, let us know in the comments. And I'll do my best to catch them because they're just disappearing on us here. And then we'll dive right into how you can detach yourself from the collective consciousness because that's going to be the next most important step. And there is a process to it. Okay, it's not just most people think that you can just use crystals and sage and different things like that, but there's a kind of downside to that. I'm going to explain what that is because I've been doing this for a long time. Okay, it's also important to note that I went through this and I didn't know what to do. So when I was going through this and I was experiencing the sort of collective energy, and you get knocked off course frequently, or you get knocked off course on a daily basis, a monthly basis, it's just something that comes up all the time. I can see Kelly says, wired but tired. Well said. Thanks for your reading. You nailed it. You're very welcome. No problem, Kelly. I hope that it was helpful to you. So use that energy and move forward because I think there's some really good things ahead for you. You just need a little bit of clearing just to get things into balance. And if anyone else would like a reading, just let us know in the comments. Yeah, so it was something that was really difficult for me. Just like all other light workers, you're so sensitive to it, and it kind of makes you retreat because you start to feel like nowhere is really safe to just be and to just breathe and to not feel bombarded. And the difficulty is with collective energy, you quite often can't find the source. You can't find exactly what the source is that's causing the problem. So you end up exhausting yourself trying all sorts of different routes. Now, for me, you try all the normal things that people do first. And then I was trying crystals and essential oils, and I was meditating, I was doing energy healing, I was, trying all these different practices. And what I ultimately learned from that is that it keeps you in a cycle of going round and round and round, and you'll be doing that forever. And I'm going to explain more about that in just a little second. But if anyone wants any clarity on it, if you have any questions, this is what I'm here for, and this is the time that I'm dedicating to do this for us because I think that we need to step past this issue. This shouldn't be something that is toppling light workers or causing problems in our daily lives. We need to be able to step into our purpose, and we're not going to be able to do that if we're dealing with the energies too heavy. It's just one of those difficult things. But when you set the right things in place, it's not a problem. This is not something that affects me at all anymore. I know when the energy is off. Sometimes I can sense it, but it's mostly because my clients who are still dealing with that energy, I start to see there are themes, and it's like, okay, everyone's feeling this. This is what's happening. It's not something that throws me off balance in my energy anymore. So that problem is dealt with. And I would like the same for you because you don't need to be dealing with that stress. Okay, so let's talk about how to detach yourself from that collective unconsciousness. Collective consciousness. That was an interesting mix-up. Collective unconsciousness. So it takes quite an energetic awareness to remove yourself from that sort of collective fog that affects all of us. Now, until you have that in place, until you are able to effectively and consciously remove yourself from that sort of cloud of energy, keeping your energy clear and keeping it free from that sort of imbalance and effects of the collective is going to feel like a battle that you just can't win. And I'm not saying that to be negative, I'm saying it to be real. because I've been through it and I know how exhausting it is to be every day trying to light sage, trying to use incense, trying to use crystals, using grids, having them in your pockets, putting essential oils on your skin, trying to keep it in the atmosphere, trying to meditate, do yoga. It's like there's too many things. There's not enough space and time in our modern daily lives to keep up with all that stuff. So we can choose to get caught up in the collective because it is a choice. It doesn't feel like a choice until you know you've got the option. But we can choose to get caught up in it, or we can do something constructive to manage our reaction to it and to actively pull away from it. Okay, it's like really bringing into being the statement, I do not consent to this. I don't want to be part of this. I am removing myself from this energy and I no longer want to unconsciously or automatically get swept up in it. Okay, that's not my energy. So the best thing you can do is try to manage your reaction to it and make a change. Now, we all know that we should stay as calm and relaxed and grounded as possible when this is happening. So things like walking in nature can be helpful, eating well, getting rest, all the simple basics apply here. Maybe even using crystals and meditation will be helpful to manage it. They're the usual tips, and they're things you could do, I would say, if you are someone who is not going through the awakening process. That's something you could use that would probably be helpful because the level that you will absorb that energy will be much less than if you're going through spiritual awakening. If you're going through spiritual awakening, it poses a bit of a problem for us. And the problem is that while those things can calm you down, because they do work, they do help, they can calm you down once the collective energy's actually invaded your space, it doesn't protect it from happening. Okay, so what you end up doing is you find yourself in a cycle of constantly having to cleanse everything out, cleanse your energy, rebalance, reground. It becomes exhausting really quickly because you're never able to put something in place that is set, that sort of sets a standard of, I am not part of this energy. Okay, so as an energy sensitive, like I said, you're going to wind up in a cycle of constantly feeling bombarded by that collective energy and having to repeat these sort of clearing protocols and calming protocols to try and manage the damage that's already been done. By that point, it's too late. Okay, the damage is already done. If your day's already out of balance, if you're already not feeling good, it's too late. Okay, so when you're unconsciously tuning in to this negative frequency, because that's what it is, it's a lot of negative energy. No matter how strong your willpower, it is incredibly difficult to sort of force calm, which is the wrong way around. You're having to force calm in the midst of a lot of emotional upheaval. And that's a very difficult thing to do. And the problem is that the energy, the collective, can feel so big. And let me know if you resonate with that. It feels like it's much bigger than you are. It feels like it's much more powerful than you are. It's not, but it feels like that. So no matter how strong your willpower is, you're not really getting to move forward with it. And it's incredibly difficult to try and maintain some sort of balance. Hi, Linda. Welcome. Thanks for joining us again. I can see she says she's resonating with it. Yeah, it's very difficult to kind of force yourself into that calm space when you're not feeling calm at all. And it's not yours, but you're still feeling it. Okay. So I'm going to share with you a little secret to protect your energies from the collective energy, no matter how sensitive your energies are, no matter how intense the collective energies might actually be. Instead, the best way that you can protect yourself, the best way that you can really step out of that energy for good is to train your energies how to stay grounded regardless of what's going on round about you. How to stay grounded so that they're no longer unplugged by fear, so that they no longer automatically get kind of sucked into the energy. You need to set a program in place that teaches your energy, there's the boundary, and we don't go past that. We don't connect into that. That's a different energy. That's where we end and it begins. That's something different. If you don't do that, what you're going to find is that, well, let me change that. If you do that, you're going to find that when you get out of alignment because of the collective energies, it's just a quick realignment. That's all that's needed. You get on with your day, done and dusted. If you don't do that, what you're going to find is that you'll be saging, you'll be using crystals, you'll be meditating, you'll be feeling anxious frequently because the earth to new shifts aren't finished yet. So we've got a lot of time to go. So the best way to do it is actually to set it and forget it. And you do that with energy healing. This is a sort of process that I've developed over the years. If you train your energies how to do this automatically, instead of clearing it out once the damage is happened, if you train your energies, we don't get involved in that. This is my energy, and I keep it safe, secure, calm, and grounded. I don't get involved in that other energy. When your system knows how to do that, you literally can set it and forget it's a different thing. Then you don't need to do all the cleansing protocols because your system's not going to get sucked into it in the first place that you have to try and do damage control. It's all going to be okay. Is this making sense for everyone? So I'm going to talk now about our solution to that because we've got a little solution that you can use. It's really easy. You don't need to go and do extensive energy healing training. You don't need to go far off and find the answer. You don't need to take retreats. You don't need to take time out. You can use our collective negativity defense energy healing meditation, and it's going to clear the absorption of collective energies and emotions from your auric field. So cleansing all of that out. It's going to enforce a protective energy shield, and it's going to help you to feel grounded, safe, and calm again. And it's going to do it in about 20 minutes flat. We don't waste time in these energy healing activations. Not only is it going to clear all that sort of congestion that's in your system and a build up of all those frequencies, because it does build up in your system, it's going to actively train your energies how to do this automatically. It's going to train your energies to hold a protective shield, to actively reduce the impact of the collective energy, and to prevent future occurrences from happening in the future as well. So it'll happen less as you go forward, and then you'll get to the point where you're like me, where it doesn't affect me. It's just like someone tells me this is what's happening in the energy, and I'm like, interesting. Thank goodness that wasn't something that I picked up, and then I just help the person that's going through it. But if you put something in place, you will protect your energies, okay? So I'm going to talk a bit more about this, but like I said before, I can see some people have joined us live. If you would like a reading, please let us know. I'm more than happy to do a little energy scan for you. I'm very grateful for you guys joining us live. It's such a good energy. So this energy healing meditation would be your go-to protocol. Hi, Francine. Francine's joined us from Canada. Hello, hello. Whenever you feel that the energy's off, so that you can refresh, you can reset, you can realign your energies with something higher, and then you can get back on track without being derailed for hours or days or sometimes even weeks. It depends how sensitive you're feeling. So the meditation is going to do a few key things. It's going to anchor your energy to the Earth's natural frequencies. It's going to support your energies for physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. It's going to boost your strength so you can stay centered and resilient no matter what's going on around about you. It's going to help you stay aligned with your spiritual path and your light worker mission, because this is where we tend to get pulled off course. Everything gets too much. We need to stay on track with that. It's going to help raise the lower vibrational frequencies of the planet. It's going to stop you from absorbing those harmful energies by the collective, by enforcing that protective shield. And that's the most important part. We're training it in, and then we're putting a shield up, so we're kind of protecting the work that we've done, and it can make such a huge difference to your balance no matter what's going on around about you. Okay, so if you've been feeling ungrounded, if you've been feeling overwhelmed or energetically sort of scattered, or if you're finding the energy of the world just a bit too much, then this is your next transformative step. This is the little thing that you put in your toolkit that just takes 20 minutes, and you use it whenever you feel like you're getting out of alignment. You use it whenever you feel like things are too much, and it just gives you that breathing space to come back to center, and it's going to protect you from this happening going forward as well. It's a great spiritual tool to have. So I think what we'll do is we'll see if anyone has any questions. I see that Francine joined us, and I'm delighted about that. So I'll do a little reading for you, Francine, and we'll see how this is affecting your energy. Linda says, can you please repeat the meditation's title? I think I have it, Linda. I think you do have it. It's the Collective Negativity Defense Meditation. I'm pretty sure you already have this one. So just check it out just in case you don't, but I'm pretty sure you do. Or you can have a look at our Teachable School and see if there's something else that resonates, because we've got a few things that put protection in place. So let's do a little reading for Francine. So let me just see how the collective energy is affecting you. Now, what I can tell you is I can feel, Francine, that this drives your anxiety up considerably. I can feel that there's like how can I describe this? it feels like sometimes this builds up in your energy, and I feel like we need some regular clearing of the collective energy so that you're sort of shedding it as you go along. Because what I'm sensing is you pick up some of the collective energy, then you pick up more of the collective energy, and it starts to build up, and it's the build up that's leading it to a sort of feels like it pops in your energy, and it becomes almost like an anxiety or panic attack. It feels like it's taking you into a level that's just too heightened. You're really tuned in, and I know that your intuition's really clear. It's maybe just a bit too much. So I would say the most important thing here is we need to get that cleaned out of your auric field, all the build-up that's there. And I would say you would want to be doing some sort of regular clearing. So the more that you can use a meditation like this to check in, I would say for you once a week would probably be a good practice, just so that you're not letting it build up and build up and up, and then it comes to a pop, and then you feel really miserable. If you can kind of take the edge off it regularly, like maybe once a week, I think you'll find that you'll be a lot more energetically stable in that particular area. I think that will help considerably. And I also feel like it's actually affecting you to the level that it's putting you into fight or flight. It's having a physical effect. So we really want to get that calmed down, and we definitely want to get a lot of grounding going. So do what you can to get that really anchored down, and hopefully that will help. Let's see, now we've got a little bit more time. So I saw that Linda, I know you've already got the meditation, or I'm pretty sure you have, but if it's all right with you, we'll do a little reading for you, and we'll just see how it's affecting your energy, because that might be helpful when you're using meditation. So let's see how it's affecting you, Linda. Oh, this is really affecting your chakra system. So this is a little bit different from the other readings I've done today. I feel like it's creating a lot of pressure in your chakras because it's your chakras that are absorbing it. So everybody processes it a little bit differently. Some people might absorb the collective energy in their auric field so they can transmute it there. Some people will take it right into the system, like a sort of shamanistic approach, okay, which could be a past life thing, but we'll dig into that another time. But I think there's probably something in there in that, and what I can see is there's pressure in the chakras, but most of the chakras, see down round about the solar plexus, that's where the biggest amount of pressure is that I'm picking up on this. So it's almost like your system is automatically trying to transmute the energy, but it's kind of getting stuck for you, and I feel like it's creating energy blocks in your system. And it's definitely creating a block in the solar plexus. Now, the challenge we've got there is when you have a block in the solar plexus, it actually stops the energy flow from getting up to the heart, the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown. So these upper chakras won't get the energy that they actually need to sustain them in the same way. So I would say when you're using the meditation, you don't need to particularly focus on anything, but that's where it's going to be working on for you, definitely clearing some of that energy out of the chakra system, because the next thing that would happen is the more sort of congested your chakras get, the more misaligned they're going to get, and that'll cause a challenge for you energetically as well. So we want to keep that nice and clear, nice and grounded, and your energy will be just fine. So I'll give just one more minute just in case anyone else wants to ask a question, or if you would like a little reading, just got a little minute left. And once again, that meditation is the collective negativity defense meditation. It's going to really cleanse that energy out. It's going to get you back into alignment. It's going to train your energies to literally not consent to the collective energy as it is. So we want to make sure that you're not getting pulled into that. And it's 20 minutes. It's done and done. Linda says that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. You're very welcome, Linda. I hope you enjoy the meditation. Now, it's worth noting, if you guys have never done any of my meditations before, you might not really know what to expect. So it's a blend between guided energy healing and guided meditation, energy healing, and activations. Okay, so we're really working on a deeper level. I can see Francine says thank you. No problem at all. You're very welcome. It's a blend of those things, and I work with a collection of high vibrational spirit guides who really are there because they're totally dedicated to helping us on the awakening pathway. So when you listen to the meditation, whether it's 2 weeks from now or 2 years from now, they go to work with you live in real time. When you listen to the meditation, you'll feel that energy, and they will make adjustments that are specific to you. This isn't just a meditation where it's like, oh yeah, it's the same for everyone. Everybody gets something different because they're going to work and they're going to tailor it to you, your energy, and your spiritual awakening. So for example, some people might need a little bit more of something. Some people can take a higher activation. Some people need things reduced so that they're calmer and the sensitivity is just brought down a little bit. It's like the equivalent, again, a one-on-one session with me. They're going to do the work for you and they are very trustworthy. They'll do it all for your highest and best good. And if you're not sure, you can have a little look at the reviews that we've got on every page where people have given us feedback about it. And I hope you'll find that helpful. So thank you so much to everyone who joined us. I really appreciate you guys joining live. There's a great energy to it. I don't know if you guys can feel it too. But I'm really pleased that you were there. Have a little look at the meditation, see if it resonates with you. And if you're watching this on the replay, while I can't necessarily do readings, it's better if they're live so I can tune into your energy. We'll have more coming up where you'll be able to check them out going forward, and feel free to ask any questions that you have. Kelly says thank you. You're very welcome, Kelly. Thanks a lot for watching. We really appreciate it. You guys have a fantastic day. Bye for now.